I think we've got to start with the goalkeeper red card situation. You've put your appeal in for Lucas Jensen sending off the other night. You were debating it, whether it was worth doing. Do you think you've got a strong case on that front?
I thought at the time it was worth an appeal. And we've just got to hope that people see sense, but that's out of our remit, isn't it? It's out of our hands. And so it should be, it shouldn't be down to teams to say whether someone should as being mistakenly sent off. If you just look at the reasons why you've appealed, and your cases for is that Lucas did get the ball first, and then he's collided with the player, so you could hardly say he deliberately fouled him. I've got no issue that he's given a foul. The ball's ricocheted off the lad, so he's in no control of the ball at any stage after that. So he's not even in control of the ball before he's collided with Lucas, because the ball's already gone away from him. It's very, very unlikely that he's going to score from where the ball's going to. If at all, he can catch it before it goes out of play. And we've got two players who are level with him, going to be sprinting back to put pressure on him to even get the ball first. So we've put our criteria in, and then we just have to see what happens.
From your experience of these things, how optimistic are you?
I can't be optimistic or pessimistic, because I don't know how they will see it, and we see this time and time again with VAR. One person's opinion will differ from another person's opinion, and probably that's why football's such a popular game. Everyone will have a different slant on any given situation in a football match. And so, I've got my reasons why I think it wasn't a sending off. And I've just got to hope that they agree with me.
Do you have to plan for not having Lucas, a worst case scenario, and then if he is available, then that's almost a bonus?
Well, I've already had the conversation with Steve Evans, so we're both on the same page with that, so we'll just have to wait and see.
So any extension to that emergency loan for Toby Savin would be depending on the outcome of this appeal?
Yeah.
And there's no problem with Toby coming back in and being thrown straight back in if necessary?
Not at all, no. Toby's a top keeper, so no issues with that at all.
Do you think it will have helped that he's been playing rather than sitting on your subs bench?
Oh, without a doubt, yeah.
And with Liam Isherwood having come on for the dying stages the other night, how do you feel the competition is in that area?
Well, the problem with Liam is he's got a thigh strain. So, it's getting better all the while, but it's still not quite right. So it'd be unfair to ask Liam to go through that, to go through 90 minutes with a thigh strain, and then put a really, really inexperienced keeper on the bench.
Just on the discipline generally, I think it's 4 red cards since the start of February, and there's been Tommy Lee and Sean McConville charged for something that wasn't picked up on at the time. Is there a concern in that area, disciplinary wise? I think you've had 5 all season, and 4 of them have come in the last 2 months.
Yeah, disciplinary, but is there a lack of discipline? Lucas getting sent off? Not at all. It's maybe a bad decision that he made, because he made the decision to come, stopped, went back, and then went forward. If he'd have carried on with his original decision, we wouldn't be having this conversation now. So it's not a lack of discipline. It's hard to think of the other sending-offs. Harvey's handball, is that discipline? A knee-jerk reaction. I wouldn't say it's a lack of discipline. Who's the other one?
I've got them written down if you want them.
Yeah, well, if you can tell me the other one, because I only remember 2.
Insert the edit.
Oh, Sean McConville's.
Yep.
And that's a missed time challenge. So there's not actually any fighting going on or losing your heads. It wasn't an overly rash challenge, was it? You know what I mean? I know Sky would have built it up to be a career-ending tackle, but when you look at it again, it's neither here nor there. He's raised his foot trying to get the ball. He's side-footed the player. He's not gone a bit studs. It's not was debatable whether it was a sending off, and I think most people agreed with that. That it was a harsh sending off. So, to answer your question, no, I don't think there's a problem with this one.
How difficult is it when you have the Tommy Lee and the Sean McConville situation where that arises after the game has happened and you find out before another game?
Well, when did we play Bolton? What date did we play Bolton? And then it's took to the 12:30 on the day of a game when we've done all our prep to find out one of your key players is unavailable. Do you think that's fair? I don't think it's fair, but I don't make the rules.
Is it the timing and the communication that you're upset by rather than the penalty that's been imposed on him?
Both, to be honest. Because if players are getting banned for swearing or petty name calling of a referee, I think there'd be 100 players every week being banned. And you know, you look at last Sunday, a player pushes an official in front of about 50 million people worldwide watching it, and it's deemed that the referee saw it and took no further action. That was fine. So, you know, that dismays you. So I don't think the punishment fit the crime at all, no, because I'm not condoning it, by the way. I don't think any players should be swearing at referees. But I've plenty of times I've heard referees swear at players as well. Foul language is a part and parcel of football, and it always will be. As much as we don't like it, you're not going to stop it. And if you decide to stop it with banning people, you're going to have to ban a hell of a lot of people. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened.
Is there a bit of a siege mentality builds in these circumstances?
Well, you could do, but you could be thinking, oh, it's us and it's always us, and feel sorry for yourselves. No, we're not going to do that. You know, it's just unfortunate that quite a few things have happened to us in a short space of time, and coincidence? I don't think for 1 second there's an agenda against us. And I'm not going to be telling the players that there's an agenda against us. We've just been unfortunate. And we've just got to believe that the harder we work, our luck will turn. And, you know, you're always trying to get better. The big problem we've had this season is everything's been stop-start. Players are coming in and out the team like you wouldn't believe. And you're constantly having to rejig your midfields, rejig your centre halves, rejig your forward line. You know, possibly rejig your keeper on Saturday. So that's been the big problem this season. We've had no stability, no continuity, and that's always been a big facet of our success going forward.
I guess your season isn't going to be defined by Ipswich away, for example, from the other night. How important is it to try and get results against those teams outside of that top 6, 7, 8?
Well, our season is not going to be defined by any one game. You know, it's over a batch of games of 46, and we're starting to get players back now. You know, hopefully Sean Worley, touch wood, will be right for Saturday, and maybe the rest would have done him good. Michael Nottingham's not too far away. Matt Lowe, touch wood, could be fit for Saturday. Ethan Hamilton won't be a million miles away. So, you know, we could get some better news before we get bad news.
Given that you've got another long trip, do you have to make fairly early decisions on those that are touch wood situations? Because obviously you've got to take them down there.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I was laughing about this the other day. I was starting to complain about, this is a long week, having to go to Ipswich, getting back at 4:15 Wednesday morning, and then Friday you've got to go to Charlton. Another long trip. You know, you're going to get home, you know, closer to midnight then, away from midnight on Saturday, and then having to play Portsmouth on Tuesday at home. Someone had said that to you 15 years ago, that you'd be complaining about that. They'd have dragged you away, wouldn't they? So, sometimes you can get blasé about things, can't And I'd have loved to have had these problems. If someone had told me I was getting these problems 15 years ago, I'd have been absolutely delighted.
Does that re-emphasise how important it is to stay in League One?
Of course it does. But the thing is, what you've got to remember is, you're delighted that you're here, but you want to stay here. And that doesn't mean that you're just going to go and turn up and make the numbers up. We're not. And pretty much every game this season we haven't. But we still give a good account of ourselves on Tuesday. And it was a bit harsh getting the third goal against us. And they've turned over better teams than us. And we know what a good side Ipswich are, and for big periods we match them. They have got better players, but they should have, because they're paying far out of we could imagine, wage-wise. But don't forget, we developed 3 of their players who started against us. So, we've just got to work with the players that we've got and try and give the best account of ourselves that we possibly can, and try and find a formula to get a result on any given game. We'd like to play free-flowing football. We'd like to play all-out attacking football, and that'd be great if we had the players to do it. Possibly I've got the players to do it, but most of them are injured. So we have to go with what we've got, and I can't fault the players for that, because in the main they do give their all.
You've been to Charlton and won in the past. Does that give you confidence and indication that you could do it again?
Well, it's totally different now, isn't it? Different team, different managers. But the actual concept of going to Charlton is it's going to be a tough game to go to. They're going to be wanting to win. We're going to be wanting to win. But we've got no fear. We have no fear going to Ipswich, and we'll never have any fear going to any team we play. Otherwise, we won't be doing this job. We'd let me and Jimmy and John do, and let somebody else do it. We've got no fear. We believe that we can put out a team. Yeah, we've got limited resources, but we'll do our best. We've showed time and time again that money doesn't mean everything. And we've won the league on a couple of occasions with the lowest budget and the second lowest budget. So we know that we can do it. And we've got, I think it's 13 more games now to try and get ourselves in a position where we're safe to have another crack next year.